I've recovered enough to update what happened the moments after Chloe stepped off the edge of the elevator toward the beast that was pursuing us. I ran to the edge to see her fall toward the beast and covered my eyes as the explosion hit it. Directly in its strange, misshapen face, the first thing I felt was the heat from the blast. I could tell from the way the bomb was made it wasn't professional, so the impact was going to be unpredictable. It was beyond my worst nightmare. As the heat traveled against my skin and the monster roared with pain, I stumbled backward toward the wall where Phil was slumped over and grabbed him. I held tight to the maintenance man as the elevator shook and shimmied, and I was certain we would drop again, this time possibly for the last time. Instead, the floor itself gave way near the door and I watched as over half of the metallic flooring broke off and tumbled toward the void below. I saw the last block of C2 and the backpack fall as well and only had time to grab one of the items. I held back my screams and kept Phil from falling out as well as the elevator continued to shake. And I wondered if the bomb I had snatched would go off simply from the stress. I looked down into the massive hole in the floor to see the beast retreating into the darkness and the broken tiles hitting the walls and falling down as well. A feeling of hopelessness also returns as I saw the last bits of food disappear into the dark. Our survival is dependent on time now as well. Then it was silent again and I was out of breath. I kept my body stiff, expecting the rest of the floor to collapse and for Phil and I to lose our lives to the void. But that didn't happen. Instead, much to my surprise, the elevator rattled again and began to rise, much slower than before, almost imperceptibly, but it was clear we were ascending. Perhaps the blast worked the way Chloe had intended and gave us the boost to keep going. I thought as I said silent thanks to her and kept Phil next to me and put the C2 alongside me on the other side. I don't know yet if the other bomb killed the monster or if it will return with a vengeance, but I must be ready for the worst possible scenario. I have told myself that my goal is to make sure Phil makes it to the surface. I know that means I will have to make the same sacrifice that Chloe did, but my gut says that Phil deserves to be there to see his loved ones again. I don't know how I will convince him of this, given how stubborn he can be, but I feel it will be better for both of us if the decision is taken from us when the monster returns. I can sometimes hear faint noises below us. It could be the beast recovering from the wound. I have to be ready. Until then, I keep one arm on him and the other on the bomb and hug what is left of the wall. Update, may she rest in peace. That's what Phil says when he wakes up and I explain how the hole in the floor was made. I know he means what he says, but another fact is abundantly clear. He doesn't seem to have recollection of the businesswoman at all. At this point, I shouldn't be surprised that this place has continued to feed on our memories. But it also confirms my worst fear. The monster is likely still alive, licking its wounds and possibly thinking of striking again. I'm sorry I lost the last of the food. I told him, it's all right, Eli. I could stand to lose a few pounds, he said, patting his belly. But I know the possibility of starving is now more relevant than ever, or the chance we might lose connection to the outside world via my posts. Because my phone is now sitting at 22% and the charger was lost with the bag as well, I conserve the battery and sit alongside Phil and listen to the hum of the machinery. I wasn't actually supposed to be at work today at all, he admits after a long silence. I opened my eyes, surprised by his admission. You remember that? Something came up and I had to cover for someone. It happens, he said with a shrug. I'm so sorry. If you hadn't come to work, shoulda woulda coulda. What difference does it make now? Phil laughed. I wish I had your bravery. I admitted. I'm not brave at all, son. I just know that life has its ups and its downs, kinda like this elevator. We don't know what to expect from it. We just know it's going to continue forward no matter what we do, he said. Phil, I want to say thank you for keeping us going for this long. I want you to know it means a lot, especially when we've lost so much, I said. He gives me a quizzical stare. Don't get sappy on me. You act like this is the end, he comments. I stare at the hole, watching the elevator railing slowly creep by. If it is, I want you to be the one that makes it out of here, I said. Phil seemed shocked by my statement. and naturally he disagrees. We are both getting out of here, he insists. But if push comes to shove, you promise me that you'll let me kill that damn thing, I said. Patting the C2, what makes you think this will do the trick? If what she did couldn't kill the thing, it's wounded. A cornered animal is more vicious. But she made a mistake by not hitting it from the inside. This time, when it attacks, it'll go straight down its guts with me alongside it. I told him, this is just idle speculation. We don't even know if it's still alive, he argues. It's best to prepare for the worst. Please make this vow, Phil. No matter what happens to me, I want you to get out of here, I tell him. Phil gives a nod and we say nothing for a long time again. I like to think that the resolve in my heart makes me feel stronger, but it doesn't. I'm terrified of what will come next. Eventually we heard something deep below us and the hairs on the back of my neck stood up as my eyes snapped open. It's coming back, I said. I stood up and hugged the wall, trying to get a better view. There was no sign of the beast yet. Eli, I think I can see light above, Phil said, pointing at the ceiling. I looked up and in that second, he tricks me and grabs the C2. I feel him do it and try to stop him, but he is already pushing me to the other small corner of the broken cage we are stuck in. God damn it, I shout as I try to reach for it, but he keeps his distance. I lied to you before about having anyone to get back to, Phil admits. The entire tunnel shakes again. It's speeding toward us now. I don't have any family, just me and my cats. I don't have anyone to go back to, he said. You're lying. You're just saying that to make me feel good. I don't want you to die, I shouted. Whereas you have a future, a job interview, right? What was it again? I am trying to hold back tears as I hear the bellowing noises get closer. I don't remember, but I remember you, Phil. I don't want this thing to take that memory from me, I shouted. Phil shakes his head and tells me what to do. I don't need to be remembered, son. All I want is for you to get out of here. Won't be long now. This thing, whatever it is, I can't let it live. The people before me died out of fear. I want to do this because I know it will help others above me, Phil declared. You'll only have one shot at this. Yeah, here. As it tries to make mincemeat out of me, you can climb onto the roof alongside its head through that hatch. Chances are when this blows, the rest of this floor is done for, Phil comments. Or it could make the whole damn elevator drop again, I said frantically. That panel is pretty toast. Nothing is going to stop us from going up anymore. Now are you ready? Phil said as I can see the massive creature about to collide. I don't think I ever got to respond, but I guess it didn't matter. What happened next was inevitable. The creature slams into the bottom of the elevator, its massive upper jaw opening wide and reaching into what is left of the floor to try and drag us down. It has fangs larger than my arm, glistening with acid and dripping with blood from the earlier explosion. I can see down into its gullet, endless rows of teeth and bone that will crush us both if I don't act fast. Phil kicks at the creature to give me time to get to the backside of the floor. Part of the metallic frame bends and I feel my feet fall out from under me. I am peering into the soulless dark eyes of the monster. All I can see is cruelty and mindless savagery. It exists only to consume, ignorant of any concern we have for our life. We are only fuel to this beast. For what purpose I can't say. I hear Phil shout for me to climb and I jump onto the snout of the massive snake-like creature. I look below to see acidic venom spewing out and burning the walls of the elevator where Phil is, standing as he bravely distracts the giant serpent. It doesn't take another second for him to be snatched up by the tentacle-like tongue. Barbs of needles rip into his flesh as he clings to the C2, his desperate features holding onto the bomb in the hopes it will be swallowed by the beast. I can't look down and watch as the creature closes its jaws. I hear bones crunch and I hear Phil groan in agony. I climb to the top of the snout, my foot slipping and feeling the venom burn me as I grab a hold of the open hatch above, preparing to climb to the roof. Then an explosion ripples below me and I feel fire cover my body for just a second as the creature screams out and tissue flies everywhere around me. I scramble and push myself up, adrenaline pumping through my veins as I feel strange sticky material on the roof of the elevator. and clamber to grab a hold of anything that will keep me stable. Looking through the hole below, I see that Phil's daring and crazy plan has worked. The upper part of the monster's head has blown completely off, and now all I saw was the smoldering spine and endless scaly body. One of its meaty claws had snagged onto the edge of the last bits of floor, but then that gave way and the metal and flesh fell into the darkness, never to be seen again. I curl myself up into a corner on the roof of the broken elevator as it shudders and rises in complete darkness. The silence is deafening as I realize I am now alone and unable to halt the elevator. No matter what is above, I am powerless to stop it.